All right, we don't have to ask for live because
Take 17, we're live. Take 59.
Hello everyone, welcome to Instagram Live number, who the heck knows, but
It's been what?
3 years?
We probably started it maybe when we bought Beverly Grove.
Yeah, like
or
right
just
around that
before,
time.
yeah.
It was, I know we started doing these Instagram Lives because it was right when the pandemic hit and we weren't able to meet with people in person, so we wanted to still get face-to-face without being face-to-face.
Exactly.
And here we are, like 2.5 years later, still doing them every other week. Which is
And we're still
awesome.
doing real estate.
Still doing real estate.
Fortunately, I mean, I think you know we've had an amazing opportunity to continue doing what we're doing and have success, for the past 2.5 years and continued success. And I think we're very optimistic about where we're headed, the growth that we've had, and I think the growth that we're going to continue to have. And I think we've had to adapt and change as we've gone. And I think this property is like a good example of how we've shifted, how we've grown, and also like, okay, now where do we see ourselves going?
Right, like for example, during the pandemic, so a couple of years ago, our average deal size was in like the $2 million range. This was like 1.6.
Yeah.
We bought some deals around 2.5.
I feel like you're getting cut off a little bit. Beautiful.
And nowadays, our average deal size is at least double that, probably around $4 million. So we just bought a $5 million building in Venice. We're buying a $4 million deal in where is that? In Hollywood. So we're definitely stepping up the deal size, and hopefully we can increase deal volume as well.
Exactly. So this was a 4-unit that we bought July 2020 for, as you said, 1.6 million. They were all like 2+1,000 square foot, so 2 bed, 1 bath, about 1,000 square feet each. And it was interesting, like today we went to a few of our properties that we're renovating, and you can see one's almost done in terms of finished material, countertops, cabinets, light fixtures, tiles in. So you can see the finished product. And then the other one's in its framing stage. So we're putting up new walls, taking down old walls, doing new electrical. And somebody asked me last week, like when you walk these buildings, like how do you know? And I said, we know what the end product's going to be. So when we look at what it is today, we say, well, we don't care what the color of the wall is. We don't care what cabinets are in there. I mean, we do, because sometimes you can save some of these things and save construction costs, but we really have a good vision for, okay, this could be a bedroom because we know how big bedrooms are going to be. We could maybe put a bathroom here. This is where the washer dryer can go. So it's these different stages, and we'll show the before, the during construction, and the after. But even today, like walking our assets, a few that are under construction, it's like we can see the different phases, and I think we just do a really good job of having vision of what these properties can really be. Not what they're at today, but what their max value will be and how we can really improve these assets. So I don't know what I was talking about before that, but so we converted these to 3 bed, 2 bath. We added washer dryer, and it's super high end finishes. And it took us about 24 months, and we recently sold it for 3.2 million. So definitely increased the value, and these buildings trade off income. And so what we did is we were able to drastically increase the income by making them nicer units in 3 bed, 2 bath.
Yeah, I think there's a easy tendency for people to look and say, well, real estate, look at these guys, Maxx and Elijah, they bought it for 1.6, they sold it for 3.2. Now, obviously, there was a lot of additional costs in between construction, carry costs, etc. But there's also the difficulty in terms of buying this asset. It was the midst of the pandemic, so it was June 2020, right? So people, we still don't even know what this whole COVID thing is about. But like at that point, we certainly didn't know what was going on, and people were afraid not just to buy real estate, but people were afraid to go to property tours, to like go into other people's apartments, and 3 layers of masks and everything. And so just the reason we were able to get this at a good cost basis is because other people didn't want to buy at this time. And so because of that, we were able to pick it up for $1.6 million for a 4-plex in Beverly Grove. And then we obviously went in, repositioned the property by adding a bedroom and a bathroom to all the units, which allowed us to get higher market rents. So if we would have kept the units in the current configuration as 2 bed, 1 bath, we probably would have been able to get somewhere in the mid threes, like 34, 36, 3,500. But by going up and adding the additional bedroom and bathroom per unit, we were able to get between 43 and 4,500 per unit.
Exactly. And I think the other thing, you know, on the deal story is that we had a motivated seller. He had fallen out of escrow, I think, once or twice, and we came in 10-day close, non-contingent.
Yeah.
Which was kind of fun for us. We had to go fundraise around $1 million in a week. We had to tee up the financing and close escrow. I think it's the quickest deal we've ever done, from, you know, going under contract to closing. So this is the exterior. We just kind of cleaned it up, made it really nice, new address numbers, just really nice curb appeal is what we did on the outside, and we'll go into the before. So it wasn't like an ugly building. I know this unit was being delivered vacant. I think they were moving out literally as we were going under contract, and so it presented well. And I think what we saw is that there was a dining room, a living room, and a kitchen, and we were able to take away the living room, make it a bedroom, and then combine the dining room and the kitchen to make one big open space. And it had 10-foot ceilings, which was really awesome. And they already had washer dryer hookups, so I think in a couple of the units we just had to move the washer and dryers. So we could, you know, we walked, I think we offered 1.6 non-contingent after walking it once, which was pretty aggressive, but I think we saw the value and we understood what we were doing.
We saw the value, knew what we were doing, and we also looked at our downside risk and said, there's no way that this thing is, well, I guess you can't say there's no way, but we felt confident that the value at $1.6 million, even with, you know, and we did have someone take a look at the structural, right? But we felt confident that buying it at $1.6 million with the current income, even if we just filled the vacancies and assumed some capital expenditure costs for foundation, roof, plumbing, electric, that we were still going to be able to hold the asset and make some cash flow. So in terms of executing this entire business plan, we knew that it was going to take a lot of work, and you don't have 100% certainty that you're going to be able to, but we also were comfortable with our downside, which was, let's say nothing changes with this asset. We assume that there's going to be money we're going to have to put into it, and we're still going to be able to cash flow and hold the deal.
Exactly. So this was the kitchen, bedroom before. So this is this shot right here can show the living room and the dining room, and so that living room became a bedroom. And I think we did an Instagram live on this where we talked about the layouts and the construction, the configuration, and stuff. But now we're talking about, you know, the deal story and then also completing the investment. So this was under construction. So this is the wall that went up to separate that living room from the kitchen dining room. So a couple construction photos, and this was a long project. It was really tough getting materials, dealing with the city, you know, getting workers on site during this time. It was there was so much going on, you know, and trying to, when we like submitted the plans with the city and then the city approving them and then picking them up,
and the window, the historic.
Yeah, it was a big project, but as you said, like we understood what our downside was and we saw the value of what this was going to become. So we were very optimistic and felt comfortable understanding the investment. So some more construction, and then here's the finished product. So we definitely went higher end finishes, right? We always talk about, we did a whole Instagram live about how do you renovate a property and where do you spend money, and this was an area where we saw doing the nicer cabinets, the nicer counters, the Spanish tile, the cool light fixtures, right? Like we spent probably 10 to 20% more because we knew that it was going to pay off in the rents.
And you know, 10 to 20 more hours deciphering between which materials to use. So it's both the money that goes into buying the more expensive materials, also with the logistical issues. You got to order everything in advance so that it gets there on time, on site to be installed. And then there's also the time that it takes to try to match it. We hired a designer, remember? And then there was all sorts of decisions that we had to make. I tried to stay out of as much as I could.
And what ended up happening is the shower tile we ran out of. So we went back to the designer and said, hey, can we get more tile? She said, yeah, it will take about 6 months from Spain. So we were like, well, we don't have 6 months. Maybe we could have flown to Spain maybe and took it in our carry-ons. But we ended up having to pick a tile that we thought was going to match the design, the look that we were going for in this unit. So you can see, I feel like we paid attention to every detail. We paid attention to where switches go, the light color, the type of light bulb, like literally everything. Because I think it was so important to hit the rents that we hit. And as you said, we actually projected 3,800 for these units, and we got 4,300. The rental market got better, but I also think that we did a nicer job than we thought we were going to do renovating these units. We put in the AC mini split, so really did a nice job. Go back here on this one, and now we were able to do quarterly distributions for 2 quarters for our investors. We were looking at refinance options to get into a new loan and cash flow, and we said, look, if we can hit a certain price, we'll sell. And we were able to hit a certain price and exit so that we could perform for our investors, and now we're in a 1031 exchange looking for the next investment. And we sold for 3.2, which means now we're ready to go buy a $4 or $5 million property.
Yeah, I think 2 other things I just want to bring up that you touched on. So number one is that when we bought this property, I don't think we had ever on our own done any reconfiguration jobs. We've done some, lipstick remodels, some more basic remodels. This was definitely the most invasive renovation project that you and I had done it. And our investors that jumped on within a 7 to 10 day period between signing the purchase agreement and closing 10 days later. I just got to thank all the investors who gave us their hard-earned dollars to invest in this project. And during a pandemic, right, the onset of the pandemic, to give us their money in something that we hadn't really done before. We've done apartments, but this invasive of a project was like the investors must have had a lot of confidence in us, and I just want to say we really appreciate that. And obviously, we put a lot of time, effort, energy, and hard work into this, and really glad that it paid off. And then the other thing to point out about this project is the amount of personalities that we had to deal with. That we're not going to get into the specifics, but it took a lot of negotiations and communication, handling different types of personalities in order to get this project to the finish line, which was challenging, but it also we learned a tremendous amount. And I think if we had a blooper reel from this project, it would be pretty extensive. So the fact that we were able to exit this project with higher rents at a higher exit valuation for our investors, just tremendously grateful that it all worked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the takeaways, the learnings from this caused us to grow more than ever. And I think understanding the process, how to handle the different personalities, the time that it takes. There was a period where we were on site almost every single day. A lot of times, like, we check in on our projects two times a week. We have phone calls with the contractors at least once a week. But there was a period in time where for 2 months we were basically going almost every day. One of us, if not together, were going every day. And so, learning and growing through this process, doing this on a 4 unit, now I feel like, hey, we could go do more. We looked at a lot of other things to create value, like ADUs, and we're doing ADUs right now. So learning the ground up construction process, learning how to fundraise and close deals quickly, how to identify value and figure out how to create more value than we anticipated. And now, like I said, now we're in a position to grow. Mm-hmm. We're ready for the $5 million deal. Take the capital from this. So when we sold this, we have sale proceeds. We put it with an accommodator, and now we're ready to go buy another asset.
So if anyone out there has a deal for us to look at or would like more information about investing with us, please feel free to reach out at the Goldfinger Group, at Hu Eliyahu, Maxx at thegoldfingergroup.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.